Cool. Hopefully in a sec we'll be live. Well, we should be live. I hope you can hear us. Can you see us, though? Hang on. Here we go. Here we go. That's the way. Hello, everyone. Right, we're live. Let's get cracking. 5-3 win against Kings Lynn. That was a mad game, wasn't it, really?
Yeah. I don't even, there's that many goals. I don't know if I can remember all of them off the top of my head. It was brilliant.
Oh, it's just absolutely something. I've just had a message saying that our chat is disconnected. I don't know why. Doesn't seem to be any obvious reason for it. We appear to be connected to the stream, so I'll have to get my phone out, I'm afraid, to have a look at what you guys are saying to us. It was certainly, I suppose, the way to sum it up, because I do feel slightly confused in a way. I expected us to beat them, to be frank, and I was a little concerned that I thought they played well, Kings Lynn, but they gave us a proper fight, and I didn't fully expect that. I thought we'd be able to finish them off, and certainly when we've taken the lead the second time and are playing really well and take it to 3-1, I'm thinking, yeah, okay, we'll win this comfortably. And I didn't like the way they were able to walk through the middle of our defence, to be frank, in the second half. But having said that, we scored 5 goals.
Yeah.
Their keeper made about 3 ludicrous saves that he had no right to make, and we had a goal disallowed, which we're told had nothing wrong with it. So
yeah, well, maybe the other people watching this can tell us whether
absolutely.
It should have been not a goal or not. But fair play, I think their goalkeeper, even though he conceded 5 goals, probably could be man of the match, couldn't he? Some of those saves he made are absolutely ludicrous. Well,
I mean, you were giving his history to me before we went on this stream, and it was a bit mad, wasn't it? So what was it, United?
Yeah, and then
Grantham?
yeah, Grantham, and then
Cleethorpes,
and then Kings Lynn.
Yeah, so he's gone from United to doing the sort of Eastern tour, the Far East.
He is only 22, so he obviously has something about him. I was really impressed.
Well, he was quite. Oh, there's loads of comments. Right, I'm so sorry. We've not been ignoring you. For some reason, it says that we have no. Our chat has been turned off. Hang on a second. Right, Owen, hi. What a win! Yes, that was quite something. Robert Jones, a man after my own heart, saying, "Ooh, my heart," because that was sort of. Yeah. If we'd blown it, that would have really hurt. Llama Dog Games. Also saying that was a big result. Alfie Hughes, there's a pattern here, nearly had a heart attack about 10 times that game. How that goal of ours was disallowed is beyond me. I'll echo what Chay said. We only get to see it the once, and from our angle, we couldn't see any fouls, but we're not right on top of it. But we do have. We were able to communicate with other people in the ground, and some people who were watching the stream were saying they're looking at all the angles. They said that they can't see what it's been given for.
I don't think the ref even knew what happened.
Yeah.
It was like he didn't blow the whistle straight away or anything. He looked at the linesman. It was all a bit. Oh, is it? Oh, they're screaming for something. Maybe we should just give it, sort of thing, wasn't it? It was really weird.
He certainly went. Like I say, he goes to the linesman to sort of. Excuse himself the decision almost. Yeah. And there was another incident, which I don't know if it would have shown up on the stream or not, when Green shouted for the handball late in the match. In fact, I think it led to the corner that Omotawa scored from. He did a very odd thing, the referee. He sort of half pointed towards the corner flag, but didn't quite commit, as if he wasn't quite sure. And looked across the pitch at the linesman. Now, how the hell the linesman could have helped, because the linesman was on the far side. And then eventually just thought, okay, he's not helping me out. And he fully extended his arm and pointed for the corner. But it did look a bit sus, as if he was thinking, oh, maybe I'll give that.
I think Pete Pearson was really having a go at him.
Yes, just a bit.
Some colourful language. It was quite funny to be fair.
It was very satisfying, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm getting frustrated here, by the way, because like I said, I can't. For some reason, your comments aren't coming up here, and blinking heck, the font's quite small on this. I should have thought this through.
Do you want me to get it up
Alfie Hughes. Oh, no, I just read Alfie's question. Day out with Chris. That's a great name, Chris. Well done. Oh, no, you're having a day out with Chris. What a great score. And Gold getting 2 goals. Yeah, he did well on time, didn't he? He really did.
He really did. His physicality really bullied the Kings Lynn defence. I thought Kings Lynn played some really nice and tidy football, to be fair to them, but physically they were a bit all over the place, weren't they?
Yeah, totally. They really were, weren't they? They were defensively as well. They were poor. Oh, I managed to get the chat back up. Good stuff. I'll put in a call to the managing director of YouTube. Got friends in high places. Yeah, defensively they made sloppy mistakes, and we could have easily, as I said, score a lot more than that. Ricky and Mark's limb angling. I like your point here. You say need to pressure teams when they have the ball. Well, I thought we did, but the time when it was intense and looked really organised was after they equalised the first time, when we really, I thought, started to press properly, pressed with numbers in their half. They couldn't get their way out. I mean, pressing can be very an effective tactic at this level because players aren't technically good enough, and that's what I thought we were doing then, and that spell where we went 2-1 up, 3-1 up, and it looked like we were just going to run away with the game because I thought we were committing buddies forwards. They had no space in their half, and then their technique would let them down. Yeah. We were winning the ball in their half, and we were at them all the time. But in the second half, that intensity went. So Ricky and Mark's limb angling, I think we did do it. The problem was we didn't sustain it. The spell when we really looked like we were going to batter them was the spell, I thought, when we were best without the ball.
Yeah, 100%. And I think we could have battered them, and it was such a shame they got that goal back, wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
Their confidence grew and grew throughout the game. As I said, all praise to them today.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeff Lang, I agree with this. Poorest defensive display this year. I agree, personally. Yeah. There was some poor goals conceded. I mean, speaking as a goalkeeper, or an ex-goalkeeper, should I say, I say that. I'm only a couple of years older than their sub-keeper. I shouldn't say that. But, there's still hope. But, yeah, when a goalie makes a save like Leighton does for the second one, the tap in?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great... No, the third, I think, was it? Oh, I don't know. That's a great save, and you're entitled to expect your defenders to get there first. And he was rightly furious with them. But then, 2 goal... The goal when Kawamia just, runs right through the middle of us.
Yeah.
I mean, that can't happen. And he did it again soon afterwards, and players were, jumping in, and... It was Matt Jordan who...
and I think as well, the midfield are a bit lacklustre today as well, weren't they? I think for the last few games there's been some sort of running pattern where I think teams are sort of running through our midfield without any sort of sweeping or stopping, really, and it's starting to get a little bit frustrating.
And Harris is there to stop that. But to be fair, he had to come off as well. But it was just... It worried me that the goals were poor, and I agree with Jeff. I know there've been times when we were letting goals, but they've often been good quality goals. But that wasn't right. The way that we conceded those goals, I didn't like it. So I totally agree. Concerning. Robert Jones again saying class in areas, but silly mistakes made it a bit of a sloppy game. Yeah, I mean, when we played well, we made it a sloppy game for them because we were forcing errors, but absolutely. John Price, we still got to beat Dagenham. All the results went against us. I wish I hadn't looked at the scores as the game was going on, because for most of the day, the results were going well for us. And, I think I feel a little deflated, and I think that's partly because I was thinking, this is good. But as it's turned out, the one thing that's helped us is that Dagenham definitely have nothing to play for on Saturday. But even then, I think they've finished the season so well, they'll want to put on a show with some fans in the ground, won't they?
It's quite concerning. If we sort of play like we did in patches today against Dagenham, they will punish us because they're a good side on good form. We need to be playing better than we have done recently.
Absolutely. Tom Scott, 2.0, Communist Edition. Oh, how I enjoy your questions, and this is one of my personal favourites. Is Ollie Williams... Am I going to get in trouble for saying this? No. Well, I don't care. Is Ollie Williams the media equivalent to Heinrich Himmler? He says, please consult Ollie himself on that as well. That's really an interesting question, that. Because, yes. But yes. We were having our halftime chat. We talked about Player of the Season. We'll put that out as a podcast later on in the week. And he's determined that Reece Hall-Johnson should be Player of the Season. I'm not saying he's wrong. So as we were doing it, he just marched past, goose-stepped past, if you will, and just went, Reece Hall-Johnson, and walked off. And it was like, we're always being watched, by our totalitarian leader. It's awful. I've always thought more Kim Jong-un, but more because of the hairstyle, really. But no, he does have a strange. Now, yeah, I'm going to say it. He is a bit sort of. He likes pretending he can speak German as well. Yeah, maybe he's not pretending. You might be onto something here. But yeah, there's just that air of dictatorship about him, isn't there? There's something.
Yes, yeah, but I would say the more North Korean dictator vibe sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm inclined to think so. Yeah, absolutely. I think that there'll soon be every street in Wrexham will have a lane just for him. Jeff Lang also telling answer the question, nothing wrong with the goal. Llama Dog Games, Jordan with a great free kick again. Yeah. What a strike.
Yeah, beautiful.
Fantastic.
Two good free kicks today as well, one for them. Yeah, it was great. That Jordan Davis again is very similar to the Oval one, wasn't it? And whether it's better, probably a little bit better. Cracking free kick. Wonderful. And then that one that just whistled over the bar as well. He did really well, didn't he? Yeah, absolutely. Jeff Lang. Now, Jeff, I'm going to take issue with you over this, though. You and Tech, Mark, turn the torch off on your phone. All right, yeah. How did he know? He's like Paul Daniels or Dynamo or something. I'm actually, Jeff, I would argue I'm good with Tech, except when under pressure. So when we go on a live stream and I want it to work well, and then suddenly, for some bizarre, inexplicable reason, something's gone wrong, then I'll start going, and like just manhandling my phone and switching the torch on by accident. So a good spot, though. Thank you. You've saved the battery. I appreciate that. Llama Dog. I read that one. Robert Jones. I struggle to understand how he'll be able to keep hold of Jordan Davis. The more he plays, the more he grows in stature. I hope Deadpool has deep pockets. Well, what do you think is? Yeah, I've said this. Everyone's like, oh, thank God for the takeover because we may be able to keep him. I still think there's going to be League One teams, maybe even lower Championship teams that might take a punt on him.
Yeah, I that's exactly how I see it. I will say, as I can now, really. I know that when we bought him in the summer, before he'd actually played for us, there were some people in the club who were sort of saying the downside of this is when people see him playing, they'll be trying to buy him. Yeah. So the club were thinking this before he even made his debut for us. But all I can think, and I'm being optimistic perhaps, is that we've now got the backing for the first time in a long time. We were actually able to offer players decent contracts, so hopefully players might not be tempted to go. He is local and a Wrexham fan, and I know that I'm not stupid. It's his job. If he gets a good offer, he's got to take up the offer. But that might hopefully count for something. And also, he has already made the big move away from Wrexham, and it didn't pan out. So maybe he'll think, maybe this time I stay here and I get more first-team experience, and especially because I'm being offered a decent contract and this club is looking to climb the divisions, I can be part of this project. So hopefully those will...
We don't need to sell, though.
Exactly.
That's a unique thing that any other conference team in our position who have to play like that would have to sell, especially in this current climate, to make some money. Yeah. But we've got two very rich owners, but it's just whether they can even still be tempted by a good offer for a player of that calibre.
You know what, you're right there, and it also helps us in the sense that, firstly, National League teams offer decent cash have got to sell because COVID. But also, it means that Football League teams are going to have less money to spend on players and therefore will want to sign sure things, and it might well be that a team in League One or even the Championship looking at him might think, yeah, but 2 years ago we'd have got him, but now, okay, we're cutting costs, and we'll better buy that bloke who's played 10 years in the Championship, and we know will definitely do a job, rather than take a gamble on a talented young lad who looks like he'll be a cracking player, but might have to settle in. You know what I mean? The sure thing might be a better option.
Yeah, and it'd be great for him to stay here, because he could if he gets his club up, he's going to be a club legend. I think, and the whole team will be known as legends, won't they? So hopefully we can entice him with that, and help build and grow the club, and maybe one day we could be a lower Championship club and League One club with him.
Yeah, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Yeah, absolutely. But you're right, and normally this would be a major problem, wouldn't it? Really, to be hanging on to a player like that. But hopefully, there's enough factors in our favour, and I suppose being optimistic as well. If we can't hang on to him, we do have the money to buy quality replacements for players. Yeah. But for the first time in a while, we do now look as if we might actually be able to hold on to players, which is fantastic. Tom Scott again. History shall remember. Oh, Ollie, this is again. History shall remember him as Williams the oppressor. Won't it just? Absolutely correct. 100%. Clivio up the town. Well said. Danny Dyer. Get in, lads. When are fans allowed back? Well, we're hoping to have a home playoff, aren't we? And then it's been hinted. It's not been confirmed, but hinted that we'd be able to have that, isn't it?
It's really frustrating, because Newport and Swansea were allowed fans back because that was their guaranteed game. Well, this is our only guaranteed home game of this season, so I don't really understand why. We've been through this on Dragonheart, if everyone wants to look back, but can't understand why there wasn't fans in the ground today. It's bizarre to me.
Well, I mean, I'm not happy with it. I wasn't happy on Dragonheart, was I? Remember, then it slightly changed the circumstances, and I had to put a thing at the start, but not enough for me to change my mind on it. I mean, the fact of the matter is that it was I'm not saying a long shot that we get a home playoff, but it was not the most likely option, at all. We were playing for the final home game, because fourth is out of the question. Yeah. So it was pushing it. And I just don't understand this. I know the club have been preparing for a long time for being allowed to bring fans in. And when you look at, I said this on Dragonheart, when you look at it, they announced the events, and some of them were a couple of days later. The Wrexham Notts County game was about 5 days later. That was a huge match. Yeah. Why not give us that? Why not make sure we get a home playoff? Because it might well have helped us having fans in on Tuesday. Yeah. And if we'd won that game, we'd really be laughing. Yeah. So I'm annoyed about that, to be honest with you. Instead we might get a home game, and then we might be able to do it. Well, why can't we have the things the South have, eh? Yeah. That's what I say.
It's clear north-south bias,
isn't
it?
Yeah, 100%. I don't know. So hopefully, but they've not even confirmed that we would get it if there's a playoff. Although it sounds like the fact they've mentioned it, I think they put themselves in a real hole if they don't allow it. Yeah. So I assume we would. But the club's ready. So that's the frustrating part of it. And then, if not, well, see you in August, frankly. I assume pre-season we've allowed some in, hopefully. As long as things don't go backwards from where we are now. Then, pre-season, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Llama Dog Games actually has answered the question on the stream as well. Rob Jones, of course, saying he's got to stay because he's the Coady assassin. Absolutely right. Right, Danny Dyer. Now, here we are. Did we stop their owner from entering the ground? I've heard nothing at all. Have you, about Mr. Cleave?
No, and I couldn't see him, because he probably would have been sitting on the opposite stand to us, so I couldn't see him.
I haven't checked for about an hour, but I did check, well, a couple of hours. I did check just before we went on air. He's been very quiet on Twitter today. And I would have thought that he would not be quiet on Twitter today if he had anything. I think he'd have liked us to have banned him. I think he'd have enjoyed, being able to complain about it.
And not said anything about it because there's, well, maybe he made himself, let's be fair, he made himself look like a bit of a fool on Twitter the last time we played him. and he's got to be careful what he says and does when he goes into Wrexham. Really,
you see, I'm just looking now, and still on Twitter at least, there's nothing from him at all. I mean, I can't read the bloke, to be honest with you. I wondered if he might turn up and just hope that people would be. Yeah, exactly. I love Jeff's tweet in the week, by the way, when he said he wants someone to get a photo of him sitting in the car park listening to me commentating. I thought that was utterly superb. I loved that. But I think that if he had have come, then I think the approach the club would have taken would be just kill him with kindness. Don't stoop down to the level that we encountered. Not least because I think that he would quite like having grounds to complain, but it's like I say, it looks like a complete silence on social media at the moment. So maybe he just didn't come. I don't know. Tom Scott again, just think in a parallel universe, this question and answer is taking place with you both balancing upside down on your heads. We are balancing upside down on our heads right now, actually. If you look carefully, you will see that all the signs on the wall behind Chay are upside down. Llama Dog Games, are you allowed to share a single season ticket with another person? That sounds like a question you get on the sort of PSE Health Day. I don't think you can catch anything off them, but don't touch it for about a day afterwards. If it stings when you urinate, though, see a doctor. I might have misunderstood. Maybe season tickets not a euphemism, Jay. Maybe I misunderstood that question.
This has been a strange Q&A, like a strange game it has been as well.
Exactly. All right. Okay. I'm very much of the suspicion, not that I run the club, that the direct answer is no, you're not. But the realistic answer is, how would people know if you gave your season ticket to somebody else anyway? I suspect, well, maybe you are allowed to, but
I know there's a lot of Premier League clubs that are now going towards the photo ID route with a season ticket. So I'm not saying that Wrexham are doing that, but it's just something maybe to think about.
I'm not aware of anything, but then, stuff's going on, quite exciting stuff's going on at the club. So, I think that's probably the best question way we can answer that, isn't it, really?
I don't really know how to answer
that. Danny Dyer, Swansea, Cardiff, Newport get all help. Off the Welsh FA, we getting out. It's not the Welsh FA's fault, this one, though. I'm not saying that. Right, okay. Were I not able to find out stuff inside the club, I've always been of that attitude. And I used to write in the programme years ago, and a number of anti-Welsh FA angry rants I made. Oh, it was pleasing. I've got to be honest, I've heard a lot of other stuff now, like behind-the-scenes stuff, and I think, to be fair, I think the Welsh FA... I mean, for a start, the Welsh Government have decided this, rather than... The Welsh FA aren't deciding who can have games. I know that despite the problem, because we have problems with international clearance, because we're in Wales, they do bend over backwards to try to help us. And I've been told numerous times when they'll stay in their offices after office hours in order to get something through so a player can play on the Saturday after we've signed him. So to be fair, there's people there who are putting in an extra shift for us. And if we were under the English FA, they would not do that. They're not, but they do that at the Welsh FA. So I think to be fair, I know there's a lot of annoying stuff going on, but this situation's Welsh Government created, and the FA, I think, to be fair, I think do try to help us out as much as they can. I think.
Yeah. I can't really comment on the Welsh FA, really.
I mean, Geraint Parry here, the club secretary, is an absolute legend. He's a smashing bloke, and he's so good, and he knows everybody. And he has, and I don't mean this in a sort of cynical business way, just genuinely, he has created good relationships with people within the Welsh FA. And as a result, he is able to contact them and say, look, we've got this happening. We need a bit of help. Can you please help out? And they will do. I don't mean like dodgy help, please understand. But, people will accommodate us, I think, because of that sort of thing. So I think, to be fair, there's probably lots of problems with them, but that's not one of them. Yeah. Oh, Jeff saw him in the stands, right? So Cleaver's there. Danny Dyer saying he stopped you lads, so we shouldn't have entered the ground. We don't have to lower ourselves to his level, though. I'd say.
I think we gotta kill him with kindness, as you said, and show what a club with real class does.
Yeah, exactly. I think let's just win by being being better. I think that's the right way to handle it, to be honest with you. I understand your feelings of Danny at the time when that happened. I was bouncing. They stopped us from commentating. I was going to commentate in my house, but they threatened to kick out our media team. They were going to monitor our Mixler, and if I commentated from in the house, kick out the media team after driving all that way. They made them stand outside for half an hour, so I was spitting feathers. I wanted to go public with it and was quite rightly calmed down and told do it on the final whistle. So I did a rant in the Q&A. But honestly, the best way to handle it is to say, but look how we are.
Yeah.
We do things right. Because he made a lot. If you think about the media backlash after that, the focus was on Wrexham fans abusing him, even though a lot of it wasn't really abuse. It was just people saying you shouldn't do that. And one of the most, the one he seemed to object to the most, turned out to be a Kings Lynn fan saying, I'm embarrassed. Not a Wrexham fan attacking him. But all the newspapers didn't care. The coverage is about that. Because he grabbed the initiative. He grabbed the agenda. It wasn't about what he did to our media team.
Yeah.
So, if we acted badly, there would have been a lot of coverage for it. He'd have been pushing it. The papers would have all been on, Deadpool's team treats club owner badly, so we're best off just being classy.
Yeah, let's leave the Steve Cleeve talk from now on, I think.
Exactly. Yeah, you're quite right. Yeah, I sort of promised never to mention him.
Yeah.
And here I am. Joseph Linder, hang on, Liade, sorry, my eyesight's terrible. Out of all the players who are out of contract at the end of the season, who should we be looking to re-sign? Oh.
Who's out of contract? I can't think.
I'm just trying to think myself. Yeah, Ponticelli isn't. Most of the players are, I think, aren't they? I don't think we need to change too much. Don't get me wrong. I don't mean stand still. I sort of see this as we got money. Let's buy 4 or 5 really top-notch players to add to a solid foundation. Yeah. So I wouldn't want too much alteration from what I've got.
And this foundation we've got us to a playoff position with one game to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't agree with let's get rid of all these players because now we've got money and get these better players in, because you never know what's going to happen. I think we've got a real solid foundation here, and we just need a couple of, I'd say even just 3 or 4 real quality, to then get us to that next level where we're challenging for the title, or we're going for that top half finish in League 2. Yeah,
exactly. I'm going to slightly change your question, Joseph, simply because I need to go and double check who's under contract. Beg your pardon. Which players? I think we'll answer the question in a different way. I think give the same answers. Chay, which players would you be worried could get poached and you want to make sure they stay?
Vassal.
Yes.
Kelleher. If he's on the 1-year contract. Vassal, Kelleher. You know what? A bit of an out there one. Dibble. I think Dibble's an excellent second choice goalkeeper, and I would be gutted to see him go because I'm never worried when he comes on.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'd be a bit gutted if most went, because I think this is a solid National League side.
Yeah, I'd lob Leighton and Hall Johnson into that mix. We said Davis already as well, didn't we? Danny Dyer said, didn't he? Yeah, Luke Young, number 1. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, we just reeled off a few players we like. I would be concerned really if any of them went. I'd like to keep the basis of this. I'd keep the manager as well, because that's the bloke who's built them, and he's got a good strike rate, I think, in the transfer market, and then try to build off that. And to me, it's sprinkling 3, 4, 5 high-level players. I want a good striker. I want 2 good strikers. I'm not saying I don't like the strikers we got. Kwame won't be fit for a while.
Yeah.
And can you hear water?
Just
oh, thank goodness for that. I thought it was water was coming in somehow. My house got flooded a couple of years ago, and I've been quite edgy about it ever since. God, I forget my house getting flooded from here. That must be bad. I just think we've got a solid basis, and we just need to sprinkle some stardust on top.
Yeah, of course, and we don't want to be like, let's say, Fulham a couple of seasons back when they got promoted into the Premier League and basically wiped out their whole squad that they had, and then bought a new squad, and then still ended up getting relegated anyway. So all because we've got money now doesn't mean the team and the players we've got now and the manager we've got now is bad. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Ben Edwards, good win overall, defensively questionable. offensively promising, 100%. I think that's an excellent 7-word summary of the game. That I like that.
It's been very strange for our defence of this season, because I think we've been great defensively for most of the season, really.
Yeah, it was odd, wasn't it? Yeah, but it happens, you know. Oh, Boomhauer, how's the weather down there? Hit that like button, people. Intelligent man. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Review our podcast. Subscribe to the podcast. Come on, people.
Yeah, we've got Dragonheart. Maybe some more podcasts coming soon.
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking to build things up. We don't rest in the summer. We just double our efforts. Well, you were talking about possibly doing some European Championship related stuff. I've been thinking about that as well. Because really sort of stretch it out, eh? Yeah. Bill Long. Has there ever been better consecutive free kicks at the racecourse? Both great goals. Oh, man. Jordan, what a strike.
Yeah, and the Kings Lynn one was brilliant as well.
Yes, exactly. It,
2 excellent free kicks, yeah.
Fabulous, wasn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Tell you what, the quality. Mickey Thomas, he must be feeling jealous, wasn't he, watching that? Hey, Jeff Lang, good shout on Dibble. He deserves some recognition. Absolutely right. We did mention him in that Player of the Season discussion, saying how well he'd done to make sure that our quality didn't dip when Laneton was injured both times. Rob Jones, quite right. Oh, you know what? I agree. Green showing promise. Yeah, absolutely. I would want him to stay. He's technically good. He reads the game well. I really think he's good. And Lama Dog games, I could see Green being poached. Yes, although the fact that he's just come in from limbo, essentially, nobody wanted him. It's a great spot again by Keats, and hopefully that means that we'll be able to
non-contract terms.
Yes. So we can walk out at any point, but hopefully.
But for me, I think we'd be silly to not offer him a contract at the end of the season. I think he's been brilliant these last few games.
He's terrific.
Going forward, and I think you could maybe put him in other positions like Jordan Davis in the future, and maybe try him out. He's technically very sound, isn't he?
He's left-footed, but he can use his right. He likes coming inside. Yeah, he's a good player, isn't he? He's quick. He thinks, quick thinker.
You can put a ball in for a corner. Yeah, we'd be silly not to sign him.
100%, and I think a big compliment for him as well that the record's injured, and I thought that could be a problem. It hasn't been actually, because he's slotted in so well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Dan the Man. At least they lost twice. Oh, that's true. Yeah, Mr. Cleve. Sorry to mention him. At least they lost twice. That's the best punishment. That's very true. Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Absolutely. 7 goals past them in the 2 games. Yeah. Danny Dye, good players will want to play here next year. The good feel factor that we have with the new owners and the good times to come. Yeah, and that'll also hopefully help us to retain players. And Ben Edwards, maybe this will be the last one because we have to get out by 6. I'm just seeing the time. It's 8 minutes to 6, so we probably need to do this. I've got a tactic. Yeah. Last one, chaps. Walker and Moult in the summer would be the icing on the cake for this squad. I don't know, Ben. I think, as Danny said, players will want to come in.
Yeah.
And as a result,
I would like new fresh players.
Yeah.
Moult had a few injuries, isn't he? And he maybe not the player he wants. He's good in the first level, don't get me wrong, but maybe not the player he once was. Yeah. I'd like some new, fresh ideas coming in. Yeah,
Moult's had a very long-term injury. Yeah. You know, I mean, you don't know how good he'll be, or it might take a long time to get back. And him and Thomas both in sort of rehab, if you like.
Be a good strike force, don't get me wrong, but
yeah, Moult's got great quality, but how long till he's got that quality back?
Or gets injured again, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Walker was a good player.
Yeah.
Good, but I don't know. Rob Jones saying, great Q&A. Thanks for the public health messages. Yes, well, you know, I mean, absolutely. Like I said, see a doctor. And Bo Brown saying, what a player Green is. Absolutely. Yeah. We're scarpering now because we'll get told off for staying too late. Lovely to speak to you again. And happy Christmas. Damn. I better clack up.